Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We are live, as always, in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Very fun 3-hour program lined up today. Super solid guests, as always. Jeff Seeley on the Wyndham Championship coming up in an hour. His best bets there. Thor Nystrom on the show today. He is super strong on one player in the NFC North this year. We'll preview that team and that division with him. We'll do it on our own today as well a couple of times. And Lou Finicaro today with some best bets with NFL win totals coming up in a few hours. Heavy Major League Baseball card action today as well. And we will ask you about your biggest betting whiffs that you've ever had. I talked about one yesterday that I'm experiencing right now. Did not get down on Cal Raleigh when my buddy was urging me to back in late May at 120 or 125 to 1 to win the American League MVP. What are your biggest betting whiffs? But, Pauly, we are human. I know we're a sports betting network, which we're going to get into, but yet another sad day here as this continues. If you're like in our demo, if you're like in our age group, upper 40s, this is only going to continue to happen as, childhood heroes when we were growing up continue to get older. They're going to continue to pass away, which absolutely sucks. And is it safe to say that your hero as a kid? Ryne Sandberg?
Yeah, he's my favorite ball player.
Oh, man.
No doubt. And the connection you had with your dad, and he did everything. I mean, as they tweeted out, a 5-tool player and a model of consistency. He could hit for power. A second baseman wasn't doing what he was doing for power.
No,
I mean, the guy
got
get 40 home runs in a season, and when he retired, he had the most home runs ever from a second baseman. He was fast. He could steal bags. He was a great, one of the best, if not the best, defensive second baseman I've ever seen. He went 123 games without an error. I think he went over 3-4 years without a throwing error, what he did. But it goes back to, in this time, you're only talking about 20, 30 TV channels available. And every game was on WGN. Every game was on TBS. You'd watch the Cubs during the day. You had the Braves at night. And Bozo the Clown. I mean, you didn't have much. And then NBC, ABC, CBS. I mean, but there was, and then you rush home from school to watch the Cubs because until 1988, every game was during the day.
That's right.
And what he did was the numbers he put up, a great guy. And I just reading all the tweets and responses to some of the stuff out there on social media. I love how he played the game, and he was my favorite Cub. And I echo all the sentiments everyone's saying that. I love the guy, and he was unbelievable, and it was also sad that he only made the playoffs twice.
Oh, brutal. And so you told me this before the show started, when that 1984, and I've watched tons of videos, tributes to Ryne Sandberg in the last 10 hours. The game in June against the Phillies back in 1984, it's a totally different game. Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals.
Think about this. He went deep off Bruce Sutter twice, in the ninth and then in extra innings. Sutter was still in the game as the closer.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. Well, the guy's also in the Hall of Fame and one of the best closers ever, and Sandberg made him look like a bum.
And Wrigley Field never looked like that until that 2015 playoff run and then 2016 when they won the World Series.
Yep.
But they did not make the playoffs. 84 was the first time since 1945?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That drought, yeah. So in 84, he hit .368 in the NLCS. They blew a 2-0 lead and lost in 5 to the Padres, missed on the World Series. And in 89, he hit .400 against the Giants. It was awesome. Maddox had a bad start, and Andre Dawson killed him. He had a knee injury, and he couldn't do it. But the Sandberg game, homer twice, drove in 7 runs. They beat the Cardinals 12-11 in 11 innings. They were down 9-3 in the game. He goes deep in the 9th. He goes deep in the 10th. And then they win it in extras.
Wild.
And that year, how about the year he had? He won the MVP. He hit .314, 19 home runs, 84 RBIs, 32 steals, 19 triples, 114 runs scored.
I remember the 19 triples.
Yeah, because no one had ever gone 20-20-20, I believe. And he was that close to pulling that off. Hit 40 bombs in 1990 and drove in 100 runs in 90 and 91.
Yeah, we'll never see this again. And I go back to exactly what you just said. Every game is on TV nowadays, right? Every game. And people have thousands of channels available, boom, at their fingertips. Back then, growing up, this is why when the Cubs won it in 2016, like on social media, they were asking fans to fly the flag from all, and they were getting responses from every single pocket of the world because people grew up with this team.
That's right.
It didn't matter where you lived because, hey, they're on WGN. I have to go and listen to Harry Carey, Steve Stone, and I got to watch the games. And they were like the national team despite sucking for so long.
Yep.
I mean, I couldn't tell you, I grew up probably about 6 hours from Chicago. The amount of Cubs fans that I had in a small town growing up, and like Ryne Sandberg was the hero to every single one of them.
Yeah.
And it made sense because they had to watch their games. And again, no lights at Wrigley until the late 80s. So every game was on basically right after school or during the day anyway.
Yeah. And everyone loved Harry Carey too.
Sure.
Come back home, put the ball game on. Absolutely. Bob Costas did the Sandberg game in June 23rd, 1984. He said Willie McGee, who had a hit for the cycle in the game, is the player of the game. And then that all changed with Sandberg's heroics. Bob Costas last night on Marquee Network paying tribute to Rhino.
But it's still heartbreaking. The fact that it doesn't come as a surprise, that it isn't a shock, doesn't lessen the heartbreak. He was only 65 years old, and until his cancer hit, and even a year ago when you and I were present at the unveiling of his statue, and he looked great, felt great. The cancer was in remission until only a couple months later it came back. At that point, you're looking at a 64-year-old man, or there's some video of it with his wife, Margaret, and the big crowd outside Wrigley Field. And that scene right there, which meant as much to me that day as anything else you could have mentioned, that all the ball players, I guess Craig Counsell led them out, all the ball players in uniform, showing the generational connections that are almost unique to baseball, and the respect shown for one of the great players in the franchise's history. That was such a perfect day in every way. And we had reason to believe that Ryne had many, many good years ahead with his family, with his grandchildren, and then it came back, and it's terribly sad. It's a cliche when you say that, yes, someone was great at what they did, but they were also a wonderful person. And sometimes that's only partially true. Ryne Sandberg was a heck of a good guy. And it's just heartbreaking that his life should be cut short.
Yeah, you can see it there. You could hear it obviously in the voice, getting super emotional with that. He was on that game in '84. What network?
NBC Game of the Week.
That game was the game
also,
of the week.
That was the coming out party for the Cubs and Sandberg as well. Like, hey, they're for real.
This
is
real.
something.
Did you see that Wrigley that day?
Mike Palm said it's the greatest game he's ever seen, regular season.
All right.
Regular season, he said.
Okay.
You're right about how the bleachers were going bananas.
Oh, my God. They were erupting the entire time.
Yeah, and then Dave Tooley retweeted it, and Mike Palm sent it to me as well. I think it's Baseball Nut. Just look at Dave Tooley on X. There's actual footage of the 4 minutes with Harry Carey on the call and how they got a standing ovation going into the bottom of the ninth because they were down 7-1 and 9-3. And it battled all the way back because they were the lovable losers and a joke at that point. And here they are making the playoffs. A guy I also loved his game, Mark Grace. You examine the offense and defense, you'll find some years when he was the best player you've ever seen in your life.
Wow.
I agree.
Wow.
I agree. And I love that Harry Carey would go to bat for him all the time. And even John Miller and Joe Morgan would do Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, and they invite Harry in the booth where he'd go tell Joe to his face, Sandberg was a better ball player.
Oh, sure he would. Harry didn't care.
Oh, he did.
Never cared.
Sandberg's the best second baseman I've ever seen. Right to Morgan's face. He goes, it's how I feel about it. I agree with Harry.
Yeah, 65 years old. Damn, that's way, way too young.
Yeah, that's a
stinks, man.
Yeah, the week. Go back to our childhood and how everyone watched the Cosby Show. We lose Theo, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Hulk Hogan, Ryne Sandberg, Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, that's hardcore mid-'80s right there in the face.
What a 10-day stretch. Baseball this year, biggest names likely to be traded. The deadline's coming up in 2 days. This is per John Heyman. Stephen Kwan from the Guardians on the list. Good ball player. Dylan Cease rocked again last night.
Yeah.
Pulled after 4 2/3, hit on the hand. X-rays came back negative. Same thing with Suarez. He was hit on the hand. X-rays came back negative there. Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Charlie Morton went today for the O's. By the way, suddenly the piping hot Baltimore Orioles.
Toronto can't get anybody out.
Do they change their mind with this this young offense now? Really get it together here lately?
Yeah.
And then Robert from the White Sox as well.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting. ESPN.com today, they wrote about a bunch of teams and players that could be on the move that they would like to see happen. And David Schoenfield wrote that he wants to see the Orioles trade Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano to the Rangers. Now we're talking.
Not bad.
That is
That would be
huge injection right into that offense.
Yep.
If they could pull something like that off.
Yep.
Also, the Twins, possibilities here. The Twins trading Griffin Jacks and Willie Castro to the Phillies. The Pirates would land Keller from the Pirates, Duran from the Twins, both of them.
That'd be big.
I think they obviously need that. And how about this? The Guardians to trade Shane Bieber to the Cubs.
Likely. And there'll be a lot of people looking at his rehab start and how that goes in the minors.
Yep.
And checking that out. Nice to pick him up, right?
I would think.
Yep.
Give it a shot anyway.
Weird night last night. Sanchez had nothing. DeGrom got rocked. Big dogs cashing all over. Astros can't hit. Lose again. Clase gets on the paid leave list. Whoop, they blow the game in the ninth inning.
I got the Marlins. Palante turns into Cy Young.
Yeah, you're right.
Can't get a hit off the guy.
Yep.
Been absolutely terrible.
Final week to grab our football special, just $175. It expires Thursday night. Lock it in. Every best bet, every host, every guest. You get the NFL betting guide and the college guide that comes out next week. Become a subscriber and get it everything you want. The betting splits, the on-demand shows, and full access to vsin.com tools, analytics, and betting systems. Lock it in. $175 through the Super Bowl. vsin.com/subscribe.
NFC North up next. I'll file this under the optimism category, but I have them at least 1 year away.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Pauly, the way the NFC North played out last year, it was one of, if not the best regular season divisions we've ever seen. Came down to that Sunday night game, Lions against the Vikings. The winner was going to end up with 15 wins. The other team was going to drop all the way to the 5 seed and it'd be 14-3 overall in the year. Think about that for a second. That might not ever happen again. And now we move into this year. And I will say this. There is some news today, actually plenty of it from this division. I'll start here. Adam Hoge tweeted this out. Now, I am not on the Bears. I think it's a year too early for the Bears. I like where they're going. You have to really like the chance they took with Ben Johnson as the new head coach. Like, that dude could have named his spot. He decided to go there and work with Caleb Williams. And today, Hoge tweeted out the quote from Ben Johnson, which is, quote, "I probably just see growth in Caleb Williams. He is so much more comfortable right now. Even yesterday, the walkthrough in terms of moving around. We go from the gun to under center to the tight ends are moving. The receivers are moving. We're adding more every single day. I told him this on the player day off. His process is really clean right now. I'm talking about how he's preparing. I'm really pleased with it. He's doing the work behind the scenes that no one else has seen, and we're starting to see the dividends being paid from it." End of quote, Ben Johnson on his second-year quarterback now, Caleb Williams in Chicago. That's good. You want to hear that stuff, though, right?
Yep.
That's like Luka Doncic saying, I'm going to go to the gym and completely flip my life around here and get a brand-new body.
It's going to be, no matter what happens, I mean, you're going to get a major upgrade as soon when Johnson walked into the building after that debacle last year with the coaching staff. Also, on third down, it seemed every third down last year was a dump-off or a screen. And as Warren Sharp points out, they were 31st in success rate, 32nd in yards per attempt, and 32 in EPA on third down last year. And how horrendous they were on first and second down as well. So the pieces are there, the weapons are there, and I think the scheme will be there as well. It's a big ask, I think, to go from where they were at to all the way to the playoffs, plus in that division. But let's make it look like a professional team and outfit this year.
Totally agree. I want it like this. The steps might be there. The foundation is being laid. And maybe this year, I think anyway, we're going to see like much improvement from the team a year ago. Everything you said about the former coaching staff and Eberflus in general is all spot on. It was one of the worst staffs we've ever seen. And maybe they win like 9-10 games and maybe they make the playoffs. I'm not going to bet that. But I think next year is the year to maybe look at this team to say, now we're going to be a contender here in the NFC. This division is just too good. So I'm waiting on them. I did bet the Vikings over many weeks ago at 8.5 with their win total. And I'll give you this as well. Some more news out of this division. A couple of tweets here. Colton Pouncey watching the Lions today with their scrimmage. Starting offense and defense got the bulk of the work. Aiden Hutchinson was the best player on the field. Had him with 3 sacks, with a 4th the team didn't credit. He looks phenomenal. That got quote tweeted by Jeff Risdon, who said, I watched J.J. Watt in his healthy prime in person. I've seen tons of Myles Garrett in person. Aiden Hutchinson has been as dominant as either of those Hall of Famers over the last 12 months. You would never know he broke his leg. So
That's great.
That's what you want to hear.
Yep. Should have went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. If not, should have won it. You could argue that. And outplayed San Francisco, blew the big lead, and then we know what happened last year, too. Just to be in that position, though, to overcome all those injuries and put up that record. But I think it's a bit baked in here with the schedule, with the win total.
So do I. And, you know, I'll tie in the Bears, what I said about them. I don't want to be a year early on them, because I think that kind of defines it. I hate being in that spot. I'll give you a couple of examples. Oklahoma City, 2 years ago in the NBA, all over them. Year early. They were the 1 seed, didn't come out, upset by Dallas. I was not on them this past year when they won the whole thing. That's a year early. That hurts. That sucks. I was all over Detroit last year. They were my team. That was the year for them to win the Super Bowl. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. A ton of injuries. They didn't. I hope I was not a year early with them last year, because I know that you're on the win total under with this team. Warren Sharp thinks this is the year for the Lions. I thought it was last year. He thinks this year because of all the rest advantages they have.
Yeah, but how much are they going to miss the coordinators? That's a question that remains to be seen what the answer is going to be and how that plays out. How much do they miss Johnson? I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's a tough call. But Goff's saying all the right things, and certainly maybe the defense will be right there and be elite, and they'll have no issues. But I just think this is too much to overcome in that division. So the pros and cons here. So it's a big ask, I think, to win 11 games. You play 11 games against playoff teams from last year, 7 on the road, 3 first-place teams from last year. The O-line issues and concerns, lose both coordinators, and then if you want to go into the Sunday slate of the divisional round, obviously you have 6 teams remaining. They play 5 of them all on the road. The pros are, like you talked about, with what Sharp said, they're the first team in history to play 5 opponents after a Monday night game. And they play just 1 game all season with a rest disadvantage, and it's just a 1-day disadvantage. They are playing +7 net games with a rest edge, 8 positive, 1 negative. No team since at least 1990 has played more than +4 net games with a rest advantage. Likely the first team in history to do so with this edge.
Mm-hmm. So odds to win the division. As always, shop around. DraftKings has the Lions at +155. To compare that here at Circa, they're offering +136. To me, I think that's a little bit too short to bet either one of them, even the 155. The Packers here at Circa are +225. At DK, they're +250. I'm not super high on the Packers.
Why?
Because I still have too many questions about Jordan Love.
Really?
I don't think we've seen enough. Oh. I really don't.
Well, that was bad against the Eagles, but also they lost a ton of guys in that game.
Yeah, that's true, but I think that we're still kind of thinking about Jordan Love as the guy who had that amazing 8-game stretch to close out 2 years ago. What about the first half of that season?
Yeah.
Now, this is a big difference here. To me, +320 at DraftKings on the Vikings, absolutely not worth a bet to win the division. Here at Circa, +425, now we're talking. That might be something to me that I think could be worth a wager. And now, by the way, we're coming up in August this week. Most of these numbers have been beaten into oblivion. Some not, and some you might be able to find some pretty decent numbers. But overall, people have been betting this stuff now for weeks. Are you saying that you like the Packers maybe around +250?
I don't think that's that bad. That would be because I like bet Detroit under. And I'm not there with the Vikings, although you love them, Charge loves them, and our guest coming up loves McCarthy. Mm-hmm. So I would guess by default it'd be Green Bay. But also maybe it could be like the NFC East, where you see a lot of teams go under their win total. The opposite of what happened last year. Where they beat up on each other, and it's not as good because look who you're playing. I mean, it's just sometimes those are the breaks, and they don't go your way. But you're playing 11 playoff teams from last year and 7 on the road?
Yeah. And
what the Vikings have to go through and the Packers, that's brutal.
Don't you think Jared Goff is going to come back to the pack a little bit this year? Again, the schedule was set up so beautifully for them last year. They played so many of their games indoors. This year, not the case.
That's
much
a good
harder
point.
schedule. And by the way,
road games outside.
There could be something here that this is the dude that could absolutely miss Ben Johnson.
I could see that.
But this will also tell you how competitive this conference is going into the year. So you can bet the amount of division wins on every team at DraftKings. Detroit's 3.5. Green Bay's 3.5. Under is -155. The Vikings and the Bears are each 2.5. I mean, you look at some of these other divisions, and you're going to see a difference between like 4.5 and 1.5 because you have a clear team at the top and you have a clear team at the bottom. Not here.
And I'm glad we get it right off the bat. The first Monday night game, Minnesota at Chicago. You see, right, the dividends from Johnson right off the bat and the changes and what they look like, and we'll see what McCarthy looks like. He's got to start on the road.
The week one schedule this year in the NFL is the absolute nuts.
Yeah. But also, the Bears got off to a good start last year, and you were talking playoffs.
Yeah,
they took out Jacksonville and London. I think they were 5-2, and then the wheels came off after the Hail Mary. I mean, they win that Washington game, they're right there in the mix, and you have to sweat out the win total if you had the under.
That was demoralizing for the team.
Yeah, and they quit on everybody.
Yeah, that was the kind of loss that hung around and lingered for a while. You could just tell.
Right. But that's how good the defense was, and Williams had his moments. They had they caught teams at the right time, and schedule breaks and stuff went their way. But to be 5-2 and in position, if you win that Washington game, who knows? So certainly Johnson took this job for a reason, but you got to fix Williams, and I think he'll do that.
What's more contrarian, betting the Bears to win this division or betting the Lions to finish in fourth place? The numbers are almost the same. At DraftKings, Bears to win plus 475, right. Lions to finish in fourth place 5-1.
Yeah, we got to get that up in Nevada too.
All this stuff, you mean?
Prop. No, will the team go first to worst?
Yeah.
That's a great prop that should be up.
I think there's a path here with the Lions based on the schedule. I mean, they were maybe here's the thing, right? They had so many injuries last year. Maybe that completely flips this year. And if it does, then they're going to be a true Super Bowl contender. I mean, that dude that we just talked about, Aiden Hutchinson, was going to win Defensive Player of the Year last year. Mm-hmm. His pressure rate, he blew away the field in the NFL. He was killing teams. You couldn't touch the guy. He was so good. And if he comes back and he's in that form, I mean, maybe he runs away with that award this year, and that unit, is healthy the entire time. We will touch on today's Major League Baseball card coming up next. It's bad when a team has scored 0 runs in the first 5 in 4 straight games. Find out that team next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Coming up in 15 minutes, win some, lose some, and we'll ask you about your biggest betting whiff that you've ever had. Pauly's got a handful. I got a bunch. And what we mean by this is, again, Cal Raleigh, 125-1 to win the American League MVP. We've talked about that a couple of times here on the show this week. My buddy was like, late May, we have to bet this. Let's get down on it. I poo-pooed it, didn't get down. That's going to go down as an all-timer. Yep. Today's Major League Baseball.
I was going to say, too, good one here from Michael that he sent in before the show in response to your tweet was Flacco, comeback player of the year. Absolutely. Total whiff. Terrible. Yep. It's like I just refuse to believe a guy off the couch late in the season. Yeah, we'll give it to him over Hamlin, and the guy died on the field.
Sure.
But I thought it was set up for him as high as like a $4 favorite to win the award, and then he was 100-1 late in the year, and they give it to him, and the league's pissed off, and you know what they did afterwards.
Yep. First 5 trends in Major League Baseball, Pauly. The Diamondbacks, 0 runs in the first 5 last 4 games.
Yes.
Hello. Yep. The Brew Crew, 19-5-8 last 32. How about that? Miz gets rocked early. They come back. They get to Boyd. They win the game last night.
Roughed them up.
Oh, what a start in that series for the Brew Crew last night.
Yep. Big win.
They are 14-1. They're the only team in Major League Baseball to play 30 games in the month of August. They're 14-1 at Caesars to have the most wins in that month. And they're like the opponents they have, right around 50% winning percentage.
Very good. Very good. And Priester's been awesome for him.
Yeah.
So he goes tonight. But there's been some great numbers out here, especially with some overs. First 5.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple more here. The Rangers, 19-7-2 in their last 28. The Braves, 7-16-5 last 28. Astros, 2-9-1 last 12. What was that last night? And the Pirates, this is wonky because you get a lot of pushes in the first 5. 1-9-10. Last 20 on the road. I guess if you're betting them plus half a run, They'd be 11-9 on the road going back. So those are some props there. What are you looking at tonight for the action?
I think Eric Fetty's going to get lit up tonight, and I can't believe that Atlanta's going with him and how bad he was in St. Louis. His numbers, 3-10 with a 5.22 ERA, and Lugo, who's been on fire, and then they get him to the extension. He's $1.40 at home. Mm-hmm. You can find Fetty over 3 earned runs allowed. 2.5 significantly juiced to the over, but we had no problems getting there with Bassett. But the numbers tell the story, right? Bassett's been terrible in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. He gave up 7 in a couple innings, and I think Fetty's going to get torched by Kansas City today. He's just had horrible numbers, and I think KC comes up, and Lugo delivers, who's 3-0 with 0.82 in his last 3. He's got better numbers than that, but Lugo gets it done, and they get the win, and they can pound him and go over that prop that's offered out there at Caesars, Will Hill, and also DraftKings.
Mike Palma's on the show tomorrow. I wish that it was today, or Lugo was going tomorrow, I should say. Either way, it's one of his favorite bets to make every single time that he goes. Mike Palm bets Seth Lugo's props over 17.5 every time it's available at that number. Because the guy's like pretty much automatic for 6 innings, and it's 17.5 tonight. You got to lay about $1.45 in that game.
Yep. How about the Cardinals? 12-1 at home when Sonny Gray starts, and he's going against Sandy. And we'll see if they trade Sandy. I don't know what that was yesterday, but maybe the St. Louis is hard to figure out. But you can't get away from this record when this guy pitches at home. And 12-1 in his home starts. The run support's been there. And he's beat the Dodgers. He's had some good performances himself. You don't want him on the road. But take him at home, and they're $1.60 tonight against the Marlins, 7.5 the total.
If you had a bet on it, where do you think he ends up?
Boy, I don't know. How many teams want him? He's had a bad year.
I'll give you the team. That would make some sense, actually. They're going to get Dylan Cease out of San Diego.
Yeah.
And the Padres should make a move for Sandy Alcantara.
All right.
That's the team.
Okay.
I think that would be a pretty substantial upgrade.
Okay. I hope there's activity and movement, though. And a lot of teams need to pull the trigger and make some moves. And you know what we're doing with the late game. This is your big boy. Thanks to the listeners, the viewers who pointed it out. The Malinsky special came in. Kurtz, of course, had a couple hits. The guy's automatic. But the A's return home after a 10-game road trip. They lose. Seattle gets the win. And now for the A's, it's Severino. Severino at home. 0-9 with an ERA of 6 and change in 12 starts. Evans is $1.20. What? Come on. How can he be that price?
Yeah, and
Naylor goes deep, right, too, last night. So immediately paying off with that acquisition. And now bad break, literally, with what happened with Suarez. But still, you're saying that Seattle, a lot of people say Seattle's going to do all they can to get him. It might be the number one destination. And you're going to point out here's $1.13 available. I can't believe this price.
Right, right. I mean, this to me feels like the Marlins game last night against the Cardinals, though. I thought the Marlins should have been favored. They're getting no hit by Palante.
Yeah.
Palante has been like awful again, and they couldn't touch the guy. And that's just, it's, severely disappointing when that kind of stuff happens. But
yeah. Well, I'll go back to what you said earlier. You got to watch out for the Padres here. Because number one, that's a big win. But to have this record and you're 25th in runs per game,
mm-hmm.
The Sticks have to do a better job. That's going to come around.
Do you mean like watch out in terms of like they might miss the playoffs there, or watch out they might be very active before Thursday to make some big time moves?
Thursday and take some futures on them, because I think they do the same thing they did last year, which is they took off in the second half of the season. They're 23-16 in one-run games. Came through again last night, and the fact that the offense has been so bad and they still have this record.
I know.
You get Cease out of town, you can maybe get Darvish back, get back to normal.
Michael King's going to come back at some point.
Yeah, you get him in August, right? And you make a trade, get a stick, and get a pitcher. That'll be great because the bullpen's nasty too.
I'll tell you this: they were so close last year. They were so close a couple of years ago as well. They've been kind of an afterthought this year. I mean, when you just think about the San Diego Padres, you don't really even think to yourself, "Oh, yeah, that's got to be a contender in the National League," because a lot of stuff, like the offense has been completely unreliable this year. And you don't know, well, you do know what you're going to get out of guys like Dylan Cease. He's going to get rocked, and Darvish so far since he came back is going to be almost as bad. But I think they're going to be very active as well, and that's a team that you're going to probably want to circle for various reasons, and I'll tell you about a bet on them coming up a little bit later on. I'll give you some K-props here as well. Baltimore's offense is humming right now, Pauly.
Yeah, Lauer's been good.
Starters are now 9-0 under their K-prop against the Orioles' last 9 games. Coming up game 2. France is still, I think, slated 4.5 in game 2.
I got Lauer against Young.
Lauer, okay. I think he was 4.5 as well. I saw both guys listed on the board.
He's got good numbers here. And he's 5-1 with a 2.39 going back, and they won 8 of his last 11 starts. Suddenly, it becomes an important game. You're going to get housed again here? And you don't want to get swept in the doubleheader, although everything went their way in the division last night. And it's also a huge game for the Yankees, who lost again to Tampa. Mm-hmm. Since June 13th, the Yankees have the worst record in the American League. How about this? They're 3-13, last 16 in the division.
Oh, they have the worst record inside the division in the entire AL East, right?
Yep.
But here's the thing that's been going, and it's been like rock solid all year long. After a loss, Max Fried has been dynamite.
9-1 with a 1.59. 12 starts off a Yankee loss. 4-0 with a 0.32 ERA against Tampa in 4 starts.
Pretty good.
Total ownage. And he's $1.90 tonight coming up.
You know what? I kind of like Boyle. But here's the problem with that. The ERA looks dazzling, 1.93. The FIP, I'll explain why it's high here, 4.29. So a FIP is a much truer number than the ERA. His batting average of balls in play is 139. That's one of the luckiest numbers I've ever seen in doing this. The league average is around 300. Think about that for a second. This guy's batting average of balls in play is 139. That's completely unsustainable. These balls are going to be dropping, and they're going to be and home runs don't count because those are not in play. So eventually, this is going to go back to the pack, and it's going to go up to 200, then 250 or whatever. And when does that come? Is it tonight? Against a team that doesn't have Aaron Judge? You want to look at the under here in the game?
Yeah.
Rays have been really, really red hot to the under.
Yeah.
And another one, it came in last night. Reds-Dodgers, this thing with the Reds at home this year.
Yeah.
They have been awesome. I think they're the second best team to the under at home in all of baseball. Happened again last night. Burns 10 strikeouts. Opposing pitchers are on a 14-2 overrun against the Dodgers in the last 16 games. Lodolo, his prop tonight is 5.5 over his plus 135, but it's a pretty strong pitching matchup.
Yeah, this is the guy he's 3-0 with an ERA under 1 in his last 3. He's been awesome.
Yeah, and Glasnow has been really good.
Yep. Kurtz, you want to play his props? Hitting .527, 20 RBIs, 20 extra base hits during the 14-game hitting streak. What? It's ridiculous.
Well,
it's a video game what he's doing.
And how about Tyler O'Neill, who was at it again this morning? He had a big game in the Orioles' rout of the Blue Jays. Entering today's game, he was batting .539 in the last week with 3 home runs and 6 RBIs. And he was awesome again today.
Yeah. Yep. I'm surprised you didn't mention how is Verlander $1.70? They're terrible. Worst record in baseball since June 13th. Mm-hmm. He has 1 win, yet he's $1.70?
Touch high. There's no way I'm laying that number with him. Did you bet the other side?
Yeah, like the Pirates. They're playing well now, too. Pitching's been good. They won 6 of 7,
Problem is Bailey Falter.
Yeah. Well, you could be all right.
All right, win some, lose some coming up next, and we'll ask you about your biggest betting whiffs. You decided not to make a bet for whatever reason, and you know what happened next.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Daily specials in Major League Baseball. Most runs scored, Orioles 20-1. And they put a 16 spot up on Toronto 20 minutes ago. Highest scoring game, Braves Royals 11-1. Most strikeouts, Burns 14-1.
Got to 10 again.
Yep, and I'm glad we mentioned this. No shutout in any game, plus 380 at DraftKings.
That came in.
Yeah, the prop is, will every team score at least a run? They did. Nats plus 220. What's going on in Houston? One run. Unbelievable. Angels plus 185. DeGrom had nothing.
How about that?
Rockies plus 240. White Sox plus 195. Sanchez lit up. WNBA, the Wings plus 310. They were up 30 in that game, catching 8. and look at the over. Up 166 and over 166 and a half, bet up to 174. And it fell 174. I missed this yesterday. Kitayama, 40-1 to win the golf as well.
Yeah, guess who had it?
Wes Reynolds.
Of course he did.
And a good job, VSiN, using that as promotion as well. Don't ever get left out, and Wes does it again. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. Luke, send this one to me later. I'll put it up on Instagram. Look at this. Well, they say no dogs in the hotel. Okay, I'll pretend he's my baby. I'll sneak him in like a kid. They dress the dog up like a human. And they just brings him in. Take him on the elevator. Nope, he got the hoodie on. You can't see, right? They can't make it out, right?
John Cena, you can't see me.
He coming up, right? Yeah. Brings it up like he's a big boy. That's a big boy, right? Got him. Got the outfit on, the hoodie. Just bring him into the room. Piece of cake. That's awesome. I mentioned this briefly yesterday, but we showed it. Again, I was there Saturday in Fort Worth. Joe T. Garcia's been around since the 30s. Iconic Mexican spot. It's a city block. How big it is? Now think about this. People in line every Friday and Saturday wait an hour to an hour and a half in 90-plus degree weather with humidity.
That's crazy talk.
Right? That shows you how popular it is, but look at the line, right? That's every Friday and Saturday. You can get pitchers of margaritas while you're in line, and they only serve tacos, enchiladas, and fajitas.
I like smaller the menu, the better the place, in my opinion.
Cash only. We don't take cards.
Okay.
That's another one, too.
By the way, you asked me this earlier today. Like, how fast can you crush a burrito? I had one last night.
Contest, yeah. Doug Kazarian beat me. I finished second place. That was a long time ago. Oh, boy.
I don't think I was in that contest.
Tough call.
I had a burrito last night.
I think I did it in under 2 minutes.
Yep.
It was a big one, Chipotle or something. Go ahead.
I think burrito might be the fastest food item that I can eat.
Yeah?
I think I put down a burrito last night, no joke, and it was hot.
Okay.
Like, if it's like lukewarm, I can do it even faster.
Okay, so we're going to get into this later in the week.
I did it like in a minute.
Are you serious?
Oh, dude, it was just
You're unbelievable.
down.
This is a good discussion for later in the week, too, because we got a guy coming to town. He says he can put down 30, 35 donuts, no problem.
Oh, that's absolutely disgusting.
Like I said, I'm going to film it and put it on Instagram.
Oh,
he goes, I'll do
God.
25, no problem. Rolling out of bed.
I can't even
I'll
watch
smash
that.
him down. I go, okay, I'm going to Pink Box, and I'll get a cabana, and we're going to see it here. We're going to see it.
Donuts.
Yeah, of all things. Of all things, yeah.
How are you feeling after that?
I know, that's right, yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
No kidding. Lose some. Yeah, we're living in a society. Thanks to the viewer who sent this in. Look at this is at the Hotel Carmel by the sea, Santa Monica. Yeah, I'm just hanging out in the hotel lobby barefoot, walking up here, checking in my room, right? Whatever he's doing. Ask about a upgrade or whatever. Walking around barefoot. It's incredible. I can't get over this stuff. Again, the people who just go to the bathroom on airplanes with their shoes off.
Oh, did you see the photo? I think it was my parody account. General Mitchy Moss was on a flight recently, a couple rows back. Guy is in flip-flops. First of all, that's a no-no. Number two, he's like this sitting in the first row with the feet on the wall.
Feet on the wall with
flip-flops on.
Oh, my God. I missed that.
Take the plane right into a mountain. Just end it for everybody.
Just astonishing. Just sickening behavior. Look at that. Oh, the beats. Whiskey and a revolver. Nick Bogdanovich. We love you. Mets first 5. How's that taste? 5-1 in the bottom of in the top of the 5th. They allowed, five runs in the bottom of the 5th. They blow that. Red Sox 4-3. How about a 90-minute delay going into the bottom of the 9th? You know what was going to happen? Twins walk it off. And the Guardians, of course, the Class A on paid leave. They blow it in the 9th against the Rockies. They allowed 5 runs in the 8th and the 9th. And they blow it, and Colorado gets there as well. Before the line moves, the sharp place is already there. You're not going to outsmart billion-dollar books or full-time sharps all by yourself. With the sharp plays, you don't have to. Backed by advanced AI, connected to trusted insider sources, they deliver the kind of edge serious bettors count on every day. Free reports, alerts, and market-moving insights straight to your inbox or X feed. They've been proving it since 2011. Documented results, logs, and receipts. SharpPlays.com. Trusted by pros. Watched by the books. Visit SharpPlays.com. Stay ahead of the line. All right. Good job by you today. Top 5 Tuesday. Biggest whiff. Biggest whiff you've had in light of your Cal Raleigh regretting what's happened here with the MVP. Good response, too, on the fly. If I have to put Flacco on there as well. Missing out on Flacco, comeback play of the year.
I got down a little bit on him, but it was like 20-1.
Yep.
We could not, my buddy and I could not get down at 100-1. It was difficult to find here in Las Vegas.
Okay, good point as well. Number one, it has to be, to me, it's Man City. It just happened. They could get relegated. They're going to get points deducted. Betting all these teams to finish ahead of them. Will they finish top 10? No. Will they finish top 5? Obviously not. The punishment never came down. The trial was in December. What happened? We're still waiting. When it happened to Nottingham Forest and Everton, it came down right away. Bam, we're coming after you. Oh, it's going to be historic. They could get relegated. This is going to be unprecedented. The charges they're facing, still waiting, like patience on a monument here. The 2010 Denver Broncos, betting against them every game. How were they winning games with Tim Tebow? Couldn't throw the ball. It's like 13-9, 2 minutes left. He run one in. Oh, my God, he did it again. Did what? Do for 70 yards.
Oh, so you just kept losing money.
Yes.
Okay, yep.
Yep. Not taking a big enough stand and stepping out on the 98 Vikings and the 2007 Patriots. This common denominator, Randy Moss. But I'm like, who's going to stop these guys? They could go undefeated. And I think collectively they lost 3 games, all by 3 points. They could, highest scoring offense in history. But imagine those futures, and I know the Vikings didn't get it done. Patriots fell short. But imagine you would have locked in a big-time profit because the Vikings were double-digit favorites at home in the NFC title game. Patriots were double-digit favorites and undefeated in the Super Bowl. And the 2019 Milwaukee Bucks, also 100-1. But again, kind of scared off with the number. Still would have had a nice payday. But that was, blowing the 2-0 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Raptors. Should have been stronger on the Bucks.
All right, so you can always tweet the show at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Pauly Howard. The email is ftm@vsin.com. What are your biggest whiffs of your betting career? I'll give you a couple to add on to not getting down on Cal Raleigh when I was told to bet him. I bet the Buccaneers, Tom Brady, when he came over from the Patriots in year 1. I did not bet him and the Buccaneers until late in the year. I bet a nice ticket on Prop Swap that paid a lot back when we could bet at Prop Swap and exchange tickets here in the state of Nevada. But I hedged against them in the playoffs multiple times, and I gave away a lot of money. Like, that was just stupid. They were an awesome team, and my God, it was Tom Brady going to the Buccaneers, and the writing was on the wall. The Bartman game following it, Game 7.
Yes.
I had no money back in the early 2000s, but for me, I made a decent bet. If I would have had money, that would have been at the time my biggest bet of all time.
Can't come back from something like that.
And it was around the same time frame. This might be the all-timer. 2002, Game 7, Western Conference Finals. None of us knew that Tim Donaghy was involved in the series yet. But clearly watching Game 6, the referees, call it what you want, they had an impact, and they absolutely extended that series to go to a Game 7 because the Kings were the better team and they should have won in 5 or 6 games. I had such a small bet on the Lakers to win Game 7. It's embarrassing. But again, I had no money back then. That would have been probably the biggest bet I've ever made in my entire life. After Game 6, there was no way, no how the Kings were going to beat the Lakers.
It was on the road, too.
Yeah, yes, it was.
You still felt that way. Wow.
Oh, there was no... Wow. I watched it at the Stardust.
Wow.
An old friend of mine, Gary, was in town for a pool tournament. We watched it together at the Stardust Sportsbook. I didn't have a big bet on it, but I never even sweated. I think it went to overtime. Never even sweated the game.
Yeah. Kobe broke Bibby's nose, and they called the foul on Bibby.
Oh,
Game 6.
That's right.
Free throw, I think it was 30-5, something outrageous free throw disparity in the fourth quarter.
That reminds me, Kobe Bryant's final game ever, regular season, 2016. The writing was on the wall. It was the most obvious player prop to ever bet in your entire life.
Yes.
He wasn't going to go off.
He was not passing.
I'm not going to say he was going to go for 60.
No,
I never would have gotten that crazy.
The ball's going up.
Oh, yes. He's scoring 20, 30 plus.
Great call.
Yeah.
Great call. I remember Quinn Snyder coaching it like it was Game 7 of the finals, too.
Oh, my God.
It's like, Quinn, cut it out. Get in the moment here. Come on.
Yeah, that's right.
You're not in the playoffs. It's over. It's the final game. Stop it.
We'll get your reaction to betting whips coming up in the next hour, and Jeff Seeley's going to join the program. We'll get his best bets and analysis for the Wyndham Championship. This is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.